Hello, Zeb Aurelios from Star Wars Rebels, and you're listening to Inside the Force. Carabas. Gotta go, Hera's here.
It is a period of Star Wars mania, as new movies, comic books, novels, and TV shows populate the system. Fueled by their love and passion for the galaxy far, far away, two exceptional geeks tap into hundreds of holocrons in order to bring you the knowledge and insight of all things Star Wars. Come and join them as they go inside the Force.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Inside the Force. Dave Cottingham here with Casey Cooley.
Hello everybody.
We are, count them, 2 weeks away from Star Wars Celebration. And we will be there.
Oh yeah.
And not just there, but we will be actually doing our show on the podcast stage.
Yes.
As we had talked about last week.
We are a part of the celebration, y'all.
We are part of, that's exactly
We
right.
have a slot. We are on the schedule. We're on the docket.
Yes, we are on the docket. And for those of you that missed our show last week, we are on the podcast stage Friday evening, the 14th of April, from 6 to 7 o'clock.
That's actually, we're the last thing of the night, Friday. It ends at 7.
Is it? No, I thought
is
you
there
said
a podcast after us?
Yeah, you said that we were the second to last.
It's weird because
night.
I've seen, the
schedule
time.
The show floor might end
that's
around
right.
then. The vendor stage.
Yeah.
Vendor floor.
I think that's it.
But we will be in the podcast stage from 6 to 7. And unfortunately, we'll get more into it, but fortunately and unfortunately, fortunately, they have released the entire schedule, which we'll talk about a little bit in this episode. But unfortunately, there's something during our panel, our podcast, that's kind of something I was hoping to maybe see. But anyway, we'll get more into that. But yeah, so we're just excited as crazy.
Still, we're planning to try to make the best show possible for you guys.
we've got to sit down and kind of really figure this out. The bottom line is we'll obviously bring our love and passion there, so it's not going to be anything but that. But we're trying to develop a structure, obviously, for the week or for the day, and on top of all the other things we want to do while we're at celebration too. So it's almost like, wait, we got to pause so we could do our show.
Yes.
Because we are so engaged in the celebration, and you haven't actually been in 5 years, almost 5 years, right? It was the last one.
5 years. Yeah.
The
4.5. Yeah.
Yeah. 4.5. It was like August of 2012, right? Or something like that. But I was able to make 2 years ago in Anaheim. So I didn't have my better half with me, but me and Chad and Charles were there, which they're going with us again this year. And, I don't know, Anaheim was good, but we've done, they've had like 2 or 3 in Orlando.
This will be the third.
This will be the third. Okay. Yeah. So you went to the other 2, right? Yeah. So it's familiar territory, like we're familiar with that place and the surrounding area and all that stuff. So it's gonna be fantastic. Anaheim was good, definitely. I felt like it was a little more condensed because the convention center is high, is taller, higher, more levels. This is more spread out.
Oh yeah, yep.
But still pretty awesome. So, all right, we'll get into whatever little news we've got first, and then we'll talk about Rebels, the season finale of Rebels, and then we'll talk some celebration.
Yes, we shall. But for news, other than celebration, there isn't a whole lot there. We had the Han Solo stuff last week. There's still some kind of casting additions they're throwing in, like people getting small roles, and they're kind of revealing that now for Han Solo. Episode 8, not really anything new there's rumors and such like that. But
well, it's funny because if you watch the Star Wars show, it comes out every Wednesday on their YouTube channel. If you watch it this past week, they even say it too. They're like, with Star Wars Celebration approaching, there isn't really much to talk about. So it's funny how they brought up that April's Fool's Day. There's going to be all kinds of rumors.
Yeah.
Obviously, don't listen to them.
Yes, please. Oh, what's that? Saturday. Jeez. Move it along in the year, man. So, there's, again, I'm kind of looking through my sources here. There really isn't, besides the Rebels episode this past weekend, the finale, and that there's, no movie news because everything is coming down in Celebration.
Yeah. One bit of news I found pretty good. It was more of just an announcement, but they've revealed some Last Jedi apparel that's going to be at Celebration, and they're products that benefit Force for Change. Yeah. So, but on it is there's familiar shots of Poe and Finn, but it's got Rey with longer hair and a lightsaber. Yeah. So it's a little different shot of her. Mm-hmm. But there's BB-8, so it's pretty cool shirts. I'm gonna try to get one. It's gonna be hard. That's so hard to get. It's so hard to get exclusive merchandise at Celebration. It's harder now. I mean, I remember a few years ago, it was easy. You just walked into the Celebration store, kind of picked what you wanted. But now it's so crazy that they actually there's a huge waiting line to get into the Celebration store, which the Celebration store is just a big section of the vendor floor that they block off. And they have all these all the merchandise, shirts. And we're not talking anything but really just shirts and hats and maybe some mugs and stuff like that. But it's just branded with Celebration. But I remember being able to just walk right in and start buying stuff. But now there's actually a line that they only let a couple in at a time, and a couple in. It's so crazy. It's almost like Disney. Yeah.
There's some kind of rumors going around. If you follow Making Star Wars, some of their podcasts actually are going to be at Celebration, but they're posting some rumors that they're kind of getting from their sources about The Last Jedi. One of them, I mean, it's kind of just a small piece of news, nothing spoilers, if it's even true, is that there might be a new AT-AT kind of style, new version of an AT-AT in The Last Jedi. I mean, I don't know who their source is, but they even go far enough to say the name of what they're called. They're going to be called the First Order Heavy Assault Walkers. Don't really have an acronym there you can read off. FOHAs? I don't know. But and they have a slightly different design, like they're twice the size, so they're bigger, different looking. So interesting. I've had a couple other rumors on their website, so if you're interested in that, go ahead and check them out there. But I thought that was kind of interesting. Like a new style AT-AT. I mean, which would be interesting because it's the number 2 in this new trilogy, whereas we saw the AT-ATs for the first time in Empire Strikes Back, which is number 2 in that trilogy. So it's like they're mirroring again the kind of structure and plot points of that film. So it's interesting to see. I wonder how closely aligned this will be to Empire Strikes Back, because it has been described as such by even the actors. A little bit like. It's in the vein of Empire Strikes Back. So, of course, that's what everybody kind of tries to mount up to because it's a fantastic movie. So, interesting. But that's, movies. And there was a CinemaCon event where they had like a little Last Jedi kind of panel where they showed the cast photo. And there's supposedly there were some clips shown, but they were basically the same clips that were shown at the shareholders meeting. So, nothing really new. Yeah. Which sounds like that's what we're going to probably get at Celebration. We'll see those clips and hopefully a longer version of that. What would be a teaser?
It will be. They've got to show a trailer. I mean, I think that's inevitable.
Yes,
inevitable. Inevitable. Yes. Yeah.
Indeed. All right.
That's it.
That's all for the
Wow.
movies.
Hopefully there's more in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, oh, yeah. We're going to be talking about it on our show in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, that's right.
If there will be a trailer.
Yeah, definitely that. I'm obviously, if we don't make it in time, which I think we will, but I don't know if we'll make it in time to get in line, but I'm really actually excited about the 40th anniversary, the very opening, basically the opening ceremony on Thursday.
Yeah, I think it's actually at 11.
Yeah, I think it is.
The floor opens at 10, but the show's at 11.
Yeah, and it's getting live streamed, so we can catch a live stream, in one of the rooms maybe, if we can't make it to the main room, which I'm sure people will be getting in line for that right away, early on. But yeah, it's that, and we'll get in more what's happening on the days, but Rebels. Speaking of things coming to an end, so season 3 of Star Wars Rebels just ended this past Saturday with a 1-hour finale called 0 Hour, and very, very interesting. I tell you, my initial thoughts right away were I was blown away with the actual space battle that they.
Yeah.
I mean, it was very similar to just watching Rogue One.
Mm-hmm. A lot going on.
A lot going on. So the essence of it is basically Thrawn is making his attack on the Rebel base. The rebels are actually planning on attacking Lothal and the factory there and freeing it in a sense. But before they are able to do that, Thrawn narrows down and ousts Fulcrum, Agent Callus. Discovers the location of the base based on his transmission that he's trying to send out to warn them. So he obviously triangulates where that is and finds the base and attacks the base. So what was your thoughts of the hour?
It was pretty epic. And thoroughly enjoyed it. Don't know if it was my favorite episode of the whole season, but it was definitely pretty incredible. The animation has come so far, and the scale, the complexities of the animation, just how many moving parts there were, ships and blasts and explosions. Watching Rebels Recon, can't talk today. The Andy Gutierrez kind of talked with the animators a lot about this episode and in creating the space battle and just how much they put into it, and even using some of the original explosions from the original films, from the original trilogy. They took those elements, those explosions, and just kind of threw it into the animation to just make it feel and look much more like a battle from the original movie. So the great care taken into creating those episodes, the hour-long episode, was definitely felt and seen. Seeing all those old characters, we saw John Vander again, Go Leader. We saw Mon Mothma again there at the end. We saw, it was pretty incredible. It's just an interesting moment for the rebellion.
Yeah,
because this whole time we're watching these episodes, thinking like, gosh, this is so epic. That this essentially was the start of the rebellion. This is. The Ghost Crew is kind of becoming more and more important, and here's this huge battle. And while I'm watching it, I'm thinking, I don't think that they can win, because this isn't their first. This would be a major victory for them, and they can't have their first major victory yet until Rogue One.
Very true.
So I just knew in the bottom of my stomach there, this is not going to end well. And I didn't think anybody was going to die for the main cast. I thought Callus was going to bite the dust eventually, but I'm actually glad he didn't.
Yeah,
I'm kind of glad that he's sticking around, and so the end of it with the battle was fine. But I was really, really glued with the Bendu stuff. I want to know more about it.
That's crazy.
I mean, we probably won't see him any longer in the next season. I think they've kind of now gone past that story, but I want to know so much more about the Bendu and his relationship with the Force and just how, just his history, because it's incredible. It was like his parts are really incredible. You didn't see anything like that in Star Wars. How he became that kind of cloud that controlled the weather of the entire planet, killing AT-ATs with lightning, and then they actually struck him down. Like it was just like it was an element of the Force of that religion that we haven't seen yet, and I was so blown away by that.
Yeah, that was strange. That. Not only because we saw the creature he was and how Kanan and them interact with him, but what he was able to do, become this basically this storm that helped at least let the rebels escape.
Yeah, I don't know if you wanted them to.
I don't think you did either.
Just trying to destroy everything.
It's basically, because they came to his planet and. Which didn't have any life, any human life in a way, or any.
It was hidden. Like Bendu's even told Kanan, like, you think how hard it was to find this planet. You think that was by accident. Like he basically saying, I meant to hide this planet. Like this is, I meant it to be hard to find this planet.
Mm-hmm. And of course, in order to get rescued as well, they had to go enlist more help, which Ezra went to go track down Sabine and get the Mandalorians involved, or her clan in a way. So that was good to see Sabine back. But in the end, some good pieces, like you said, with Bendu, some good storylines there. Fantastic action. Just the space battle was incredible. But it kind of didn't feel like a season finale almost, because, I don't know. It just, like you said, there wasn't any major conclusion like with Thrawn necessarily or any of the rebels really. They're just moving on.
Yeah. They're going to Yavin.
It wasn't exactly. That's obviously the main prediction is that they're going to Yavin. But a year ago when we watched Anakin and Ahsoka battle it out, I mean that felt like a finale.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean? Like almost like a series finale. It's like
sure.
But I just felt like it wasn't that strong of an ending. Even though obviously they kept it open for Thrawn to come back next season, and which of course, again in Rebels Recon, they talked about what we could expect a little bit in season 4, right? Which that's part of I wanted to talk about that too, about predictions. Kind of who are we going to see in season 4? Well, I think we're both in agreement right away. Yes. They've got to eventually find Yavin. They might not start on Yavin, but they'll find Yavin, which will bring us that much closer to Rogue One.
Yeah.
But who do you think, character-wise, will pop up in season 4? Which, quite possibly, it would not surprise me because the rumors are kind of out there that this is the last season.
Yeah, that's all but really confirmed at this point by the people themselves. It's kind of what everybody seems to believe. I think Thrawn will still be the villain. I think Tarkin will kind of be more present, I would say. Especially if this is the last, and if they're planning it to be the last, and they're going to, really make it incredibly epic. Like, who could be a better villain? Like, you have Thrawn again, but if, unlike Clone Wars, if they know this is the last season, I would say that they should throw Tarkin into this as a villain. Make him more present, and they should bring in Krennic.
See, I was just thinking that,
or have him involved somehow.
Will we ever? Is there a reason, or is there a possibility why we would ever see the Death Star?
Well, that's the only reason we would see Krennic is if somehow the Death Star got involved.
Correct. Because at this point, he's still forcing Galen to figure out the weapon.
Yeah, and actually, I don't know where it would be at this point. I mean, By Jeddah? No, it can't be by Jeddah. It's probably just somewhere hidden.
Probably just hidden somewhere.
Deep space, and then they go to Jeddah and Rogue One, and they go to Scarif, and then...
Yeah, because the only thing is surrounding it at Rogue One is Star Destroyers, right? Because they're just in the middle of space. I don't think they're around a system or anything.
Yeah. So,
but Galen's on Edu.
Yeah. It would be incredible if we did see it. I mean, we're still 2 years away from Rogue One. Because we heard that Luke was 17 years old in Twin Sons, which means Ezra's 17 years old. Which means we're about 2 years from A New Hope and Rogue One,
which means, right, that roughly 3 years has gone by.
2 to 3, yeah. 2 to 3 years. I think Ezra was about 15. I think that's what it says here. He's about 15 when we first see him. 14, 15. So, yeah, 2 to 3 years.
Oh, okay, yeah. So that would be about right.
But who knows how much time is going to jump in this next season. I mean, it could be like another kind of 6 months or so, kind of like this last one. But I think it'd be cool if I don't know if it makes sense, but it'd be cool if we somehow got a glimpse. I don't know if the Death Star. I don't know if that would make sense though, because I know how they plan it, or they think of it as like, the story group. Those guys, when they're doing these stories, like they write and publish these stories as if this is the first thing a Star Wars fan is seeing, and they haven't seen the next thing. So if they haven't seen Rogue One, this is the season 4 of Rebels is the first thing they're seeing without knowing what happens later in the timeline.
I don't know if you can. I don't know if you can show it.
Yeah, because that would be revealing it in a sense for the first time, at least in movie form. So, probably can't. I mean, except for Catalyst, except for Revenge of the Sith, I guess.
Yeah, Revenge of the Sith.
True. So
if you just watch the the movie, live action stuff, you would have saw it in episode 2, and then. They didn't even mention it in episode 3, right? No.
Maybe you just saw it at the end there, yeah.
Oh, yeah, we see it getting built at the end, yeah.
And then it's still being constructed. It wouldn't even have the weapon yet at this point.
No, that's what I'm saying. I think it's constructed. They're trying to figure out the weapon.
Yeah.
Because they don't conclude the weapon until right before Rogue One. And then the first test is obviously on Jeddah.
I mean, so what if, though, we just see Tarkin...
It's possible that they bring it up.
Yeah.
Because now that there's an alliance and a threat almost to the Empire, I feel like it's like, okay, well, they can't find out about this thing because they somehow they do, and Saul might be the one that. Well, no, because he's getting told.
Well, he doesn't find out about the Death Star, but he came awfully close to it in this past season. I do think we'll see Saul.
The guy in the beginning of Rogue One, that Cassian.
Yeah,
is he informant. Is he one of Saul's guys?
Like a partisan guy? I don't know. I don't think so.
Because he says he had to get back to Jeddah, right?
Yeah, maybe he is. Maybe he just heard it. I don't know.
Somehow he finds out.
Yeah.
So that's the thing: is are people finding out about it, but then getting killed? I feel like there would be possibly an episode where not somebody that's obviously a main character, but someone would stumble upon it, and then something will happen to him.
Yeah.
I don't know if we'll see Krennic. I do think we'll see Tarkin again, but
yeah.
I think more on the Rebel side though. We'll see more Bail.
Yeah.
More Mon Mothma. We'll see, I think, a Cassian, possibly.
I think so. And definitely a Saw Gerrera. It's still hard to say that.
Yes,
name.
More
we'll see Saul.
Yeah.
And his falling out with Mon Mothma.
It would actually be cool to see them reprogram K2SO.
Yeah. They get
him and they reprogram him.
Yeah. If we see Jeddah, that'd be pretty cool.
Yes. Oh somehow. Man, yeah.
Because if we do see that falling out with Saw and Mon Mothma, and if he does go to Jeddah, I think at the point though we see him in season 3, I think Jin's gone by that point. She's not with Saul.
No. Well, she said
it's been like 5
years.
5 years, yeah. Okay, so she's definitely not with him at this point.
So I guess she's stuck in prison?
Maybe.
This whole
I don't know
time?
how long she was, but
Yeah.
I mean, it's
But it'd definitely
cool.
be, I definitely think Cassian is a huge possibility. Possibly more Leia.
Yeah. And that I would actually love to see that, just because to see her role in the rebellion, exactly what it is. You know, we get the idea in that one episode she was in, and then in A New Hope, but I do kind of want to know what role she did play more consistently. I mean,
she's involved in the Senate.
Yeah,
right?
so she's kind of like her father, playing both sides in a way, but yeah, I would love to see more of her, just to get more of her place in the rebellion.
I'd love to see. Here's the thing. Again, if you're going in order, well, you have seen him. Then, do we see the Emperor ever?
Oh, that would be the way to end in the series, is to reveal the Emperor in some way. I mean, he's got to be on.
Because I'm thinking, do you ever see? I want to see Coruscant.
Mm-hmm. Maybe maybe the Rebels try.
Yeah.
That'd be so hard. That'd be so hard to pull off. Rebels going to Coruscant. It's almost a death sentence doing that.
Well, I mean, in the books, like Luke went, I'm just thinking like, well, not just that, but I'm thinking like Leia in the Senate or something like that, or Leia.
See Mos Amida.
Yeah,
that'd be really cool.
Mm-hmm. It'd just be really cool to see those connections a little bit better. What's actually happened on the political side a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if that'll happen or not, but real quick, like how does this end? Like how does season how does Rebels end?
I was just thinking that. Like,
is it Rogue One?
Yeah, I mean, that would be, if they really will overlap this Battle Scarif into Rebels. Either that means, because the only thing is like either Kanan, because we don't know who's there, who's alive, who's dead, or who's just kind of gone. I don't know how it will end. I mean, it can't end on the Battle of Scarif.
Because I mean, the next thing is A New Hope.
Yeah, man, it's tough. Maybe they won't touch on it. I don't know, but
it's possible you could end it. You could end it where you lead up to the Battle of Scarif. You see the Ghost point of view of what happens, and then it kind of, you see maybe possibly you might jump till after A New Hope a little bit. I was just thinking like they leave Yavin, and it's the same thing, kind of like this. They leave Yavin and search for the next base, which ultimately ends up being Hoth, right?
yeah.
But that was a 3-year gap between 4 and 5, so that, there could be a base in between there, but probably not. Anyway, I don't know. That could be an ending, like they're moving on, and then now it's kind of through the movies. But I still keep thinking of, how do you end with, like, who is clearly this series is centered around Ezra.
Yeah.
So it's how does his story conclude?
Right.
And I don't even
Still
I don't even know how, because we don't know about him throughout the movies.
Yeah.
It's like he either has to die or he has to actually give it up and go hide somewhere. I don't or
exactly. And, or does he go to the dark side? Does he? I'm afraid that they'll just kill him off, because I feel like that was like their just reasoning of what they have to do in Rogue One, which they didn't have to do that in Rogue One, but
like kill the Rogue One guys.
Yeah.
No, they didn't have to.
Like, they didn't do it with Ahsoka. They didn't have. They could have.
The Rogue One though, they I feel like that was more of a. Those are the faces of the people. Those are the ones that gave their lives, the patriots.
Sure.
You know, so it makes
I understand
sense there.
Yeah, I understand it. I don't think you'd have to kill off many of the Ghost crew. It's just really hard to explain Ezra and Kanan. That's really anybody else. I feel like you can easily explain their absence, but Ezra and Kanan, it's gonna be really hard. So that's what.
And if they're around during the Battle of Scarif, that's where it's almost like, why aren't they there, or why aren't they on the surface with, because. Again, and then when Mothma is talking to Bail about, hey, what about your Jedi friend? I mean, wouldn't they be friends with the Jedi there?
Yeah. Oh, you mean Kanan? Or Ezra?
Yeah.
Who are you talking about? We already have so many Jedi.
So it makes you wonder how long they've been gone for that they actually don't remember them.
So I mean, this season could very well not at all overlap Rogue One, because I don't see how you would. I feel off Ezra and keep going.
Right, because I feel like they almost have to be absent for like a year before no one's talking about them anymore, or no one's referring to them anymore. I don't know. That's tough, because even when Luke came on, like, no one considered him a Jedi, right? Because he, now if they would have saw Obi-Wan, they would have been like, hey, the guy's even got the robe to match, right? So
yeah.
But since they didn't, and Luke is just a guy holding a lightsaber, they're not really thrilled until he actually becomes powerful. So yeah, it's or even the fact that Yoda, if they were that's the thing, if they were around, you would think he would have mentioned them too.
Yeah, I mean, there's something
because he knows about Ezra.
Yeah. Now, obviously, something big is going to happen, and I just think they either die or they goes to the dark side. I don't know, and just kind of goes off on into wherever he goes. I'm worried that that Ezra and Kanan are just gonna be killed off. That's what I'm worried about.
Yeah. Yeah. It's interesting that they set up. It's actually a little interesting that they set up this whole Mandalorian thing too, because it could be possible that they decide to go help Sabine, which takes them away from the Civil War.
Yeah, but
and they're just there for a long time. I don't know.
Yeah, but you just have to go. Mon Mothma should have then said something like, "Let's also go and try to get back Ezra and Kanan or whatever." So, no mention at all in Rogue One. That tells me they're, at least to them, they're just not in the picture. Whether it means death or switch sides, they're not in the picture anymore.
Yeah.
Not included in the rebellion.
A way to send them off. It's kind of a downer, but Vader eventually catches up to him, because he's got to come back to the series. He's got to be back next season. So, it's I mean, basically what has happened, right? Like, basically Callus was tasked with trying to find or down this rebel insurgents in season 1. Didn't happen. So what they do, they brought Vader in. He ended up tracking them down and ended up nearly destroying them all. But then now he got kind of pulled off, and then enter Thrawn, right?
Yeah.
So it's almost as if, or heck, it could be the Emperor finally comes in and just...
Could possibly, yeah. I actually like the thought of the Emperor, Vader and Thrawn working together.
Yeah.
Vader, Thrawn, Tarkin, kind of them three.
Yeah.
Planning it out and doing it. That would be awesome. And showing Vader as like how he is in A New Hope. Well, he just kind of stands next to Tarkin. Kind of just works alongside Tarkin a little bit. I don't know. Really cool.
Yep. Very cool. So, anyway, season 4 starts back next fall. they haven't fully announced whether or not we're getting a season 4 premiere at Celebration. It doesn't sound like we are.
There's a season 4 preview panel, and then there's also a Rebels reunion panel that's on the Galaxy stage, where it's labeled as like panels / screenings. I don't know, but it might.
Well, they've actually said season 4 premiere, so we probably get a couple scenes in the preview.
Yeah, like a sizzle reel or something.
Yeah. Definitely a trailer for season 4, because like Filoni has said over the years, is that they're usually a year ahead. So it'd be interesting to know if they're working right now, because they wouldn't be working, or they'd be working on season 5 if there was going to be a season 5.
Yeah.
So probably not. I don't know. But see, I'm still kind of sticking to the guns that I think I will believe that season 4 is the land, and that we will get some kind of a new animation announcement.
I think if that's going to happen, it's going to be at Celebration.
That's what I'm saying. At Celebration.
Yeah, it's going to.
I think that's what's going to happen.
We're going to hear, ooh, boy.
The next animated show.
Yeah.
Luke and Leia.
Yes. And Han.
All right, so what else about Celebration do we want to talk about before we close out?
Just some more guests. I think that you got to note Dennis Lawson, Wedge Antilles is going to be there.
That's right.
That's pretty huge, because he has not been to any of them. And as far as I was concerned, as far as I knew, he honestly didn't want to have anything to do with Star Wars, or didn't like it, honestly, or didn't like the attention, or didn't care for the attention he was getting for it. So this is kind of shocking. It's kind of surprising.
It is.
Very cool.
But he's just coming as a autograph
I think so.
person? Yeah.
And also, I don't think this has been in there for a while.
Royalties might be drying up.
Yeah, maybe. But I don't know if this was officially announced at all, or if it was just kind of posted on their website. But I think it's cool. Go Leader actually will be there.
Nice.
John Dutch Vander will be there, so it's very exciting. But panels, the entire panels and screenings is now confirmed and revealed and put on the Celebration's website. So StarWarsCelebration.com. You can find their panels and screenings schedule, everything. So every stage, all the times. Because before, when they first released it, it had all those coming soon gaps. But now it's all there. And it just seems like there's so much more stuff. Not just more panels, but like panels that I want to go see. Like there's a lot of stuff here. I'm really going to sit and look through this and map out what I want to see, what I can see, and how I, where I have to go and that kind of stuff. And make sure to leave time for our podcast.
Yes.
But we're on their website here. The schedule is so cool. We have a URL. Just doesn't mention anything, details about our podcast. It just time and what room it's on.
Right.
But there's a lot of stuff.
But yeah, pretty cool to see that.
Yeah.
Really neat to see that. Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to. We're planning on getting there really early on Thursday morning. Mm-hmm. Planning on trying to see it or do something with the 40th anniversary, either be in the main or the live stream. Definitely want to see Friday morning, obviously, episode 8. To be honest, from there, I'm just more or less interested in kind of a lot of stuff that I did last time was whatever things they have on the books or the comics, upcoming releases there.
Except for that, yeah.
Obviously, Rebels, whatever they're doing with Rebels or Filoni. It seems, at least what I've noticed, breezing through the schedule now, for the first time, it doesn't seem like there's anything Clone Wars related.
Very true.
Because 2 years ago, 2 years ago, they released, I think the
Lost Missions.
No, it wasn't the Lost Missions. It was the one of the animatics.
Oh, right.
I think Bad Batch or whatever. Mm-hmm. So which is canon.
Yeah.
And they had a whole thing where they talked about the missing. Yeah, that's right. There was the missing episodes that they were going to do storylines, which was One was Boba Fett and Cad Bane getting together. Mm-hmm. They were going to show the Ahsoka return, which ended up being the novel part, into the novel. Mm-hmm. But they had a whole big thing, and it was cool to see fans still getting up and telling Filoni, like, you should not have ended the show. Love it. Everybody was so appreciative of the series. And then we saw the premiere of season 2 at that point, which was Vader. So definitely anything Rebels and Filoni I want to see. And then from there it's really the floor and whatever we have time for. It's not our show or in line for anything. But episode 8 panel is going to be obviously the highlight of the weekend for sure. Now Mark Hamill, unfortunately, his speaking engagement, like he has the stage by himself, is on Sunday. But he is doing a Carrie Fisher tribute on Friday evening. Like I said, fortunately, this was what I'm talking about, is happening during our show. So won't be able to make that one, but we'll talk about it on our show. Probably not then, obviously, but the following week about what it was. And of course, as you guys may or may not know, hopefully, but the majority of Star Wars Celebration will be live streamed, like they did in Europe last year. I remember we were at work just like watching this live stream. Pretty crazy how things have changed with that now. You don't have to go to Celebration to experience Celebration in a sense now, which is kind of takes away the uniqueness of it in a sense. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, you knew you were like the only ones in the room watching this, as opposed to now everybody around the world can watch it.
Yeah, I'm definitely excited for those panels, and there's so many different variety of other panels, like Doug Chain, who's the storyboard artist and one of the creative executives there. He's phenomenal. He's going to have his own panel of like a master class of art drawing and illustrating, which sounds awesome. DK is going to have a little panel and booth, and Penguin Publishing, they're going to do like an audio, I don't know if they're doing the audiobook, but there's going to be an audiobook panel with Mark Thompson and Ashley Eckstein about how they do audiobooks. There'll be Del Rey, talking about their new books coming out this year. I'm very excited for all that. And then, there'll be like an animation one with Filoni and Pablo Hidalgo. Mm-hmm. And hopefully we'll have time to see all of these things, but I don't know. And just other, there's other panels with Christy Golden, the author of Dark Disciple. Chuck Wendig is going to be there doing some of his stuff and talking. He's going to have a specific, I think, aftermath panel, and then also just some about books and Star Wars trivia, honestly. And then there's, unfortunately, James Luceno, I don't think is going to be there, but Timothy Zahn's going to be there talking about Thrawn. They're going to have Star Wars Celebration special edition copies of Thrawn there that I'll probably get there. Yep. And it's very incredible, very exciting times. Fantasy Flight's going to be there.
Fantasy Flight is, I think they're going to be right next to the podcast stage, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, huge. So anyway, that's, we will obviously do one more show next week before we leave. We're still working out the details. We'll have more next week on exactly if we're going to be doing stuff on the way or anything like that. We're still talking about doing stuff like that, and so we might get some different content from us throughout the weekend. But it's going to be a huge weekend. Obviously, we'll be, for those of you who can't make it, we'll be tweeting and Instagramming and all kinds of stuff from there that weekend. We've got this is the biggest group we've had go with us.
Yeah. That's going to be so much fun.
It is. Normally, there's only about 4 or 5 of us. Mm-hmm. We had 1 year, we had 6, which was our biggest. Now we've got 8. Is that right? We've got 8?
Yep.
So the newbies being Cody and Anthony, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
Everybody else, I think, has been there before.
Been there at least once, yeah.
Yeah. So it's just going to be, it's just so much fun, man. I mean, honestly, what makes it so special as well, even though I think a lot of people want it this way, but what makes it so special is that it's not every year. You know?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, would I be mad if it was every year? Probably not. But
yeah, if you went to the European one and then the American one. Yeah.
But I'm glad they do that because I'm glad because people are probably going to be traveling across the pond to come to this, and if I had the funds, I would probably try to go to Europe and do one too. But I can't, and I feel like it's like this is being in the States every couple of years, it's so makes it just so special to be able to go. And this being unbelievably the 40th year of Star Wars.
Yeah,
40 years.
That is nuts.
So this is a very special May the 4th. This year is, which I've got a plan for that too. So, so it's just such a killer time. This is just a killer year to be a Star Wars fan with all that's. Now, you also, real quick too, I forgot to mention, they're releasing a book.
Yes.
Re-releasing the episode 4 novel.
The 40th anniversary collector's edition of Star Wars A New Hope novelization. So, the one that was actually written by George Lucas himself. Yeah, it's going. I think you can buy it online right now. I'm sure they'll have it at Celebration. They've got to have some copies there, but it'd be definitely worth buying. I don't even think it's even that much money.
No,
$120, I think.
Yeah.
Well, on the website is in British pounds, so
it'll be about 20 though.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think I've got the trilogy over there, original trilogy. That was the 25th anniversary. So I do want. I've been actually looking online. I can't find it. I've been wanting to get the individually hardbound books for 4, 5, and 6, but they just don't really exist anymore.
Is it Del Rey? I guess it publishes all that. Del Rey's website, they have a Star Wars timeline. You might have seen it, and if you go to the episodes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, it's funny because for the cover of that they show like the original cover of the original novelization that they had, not like a reprinted one. So it's like they count that one as still being like the canon. Which is just a cool thing I noticed.
I have not seen that. Yeah, I got to see that.
But they, obviously don't have Ahsoka.
It's on the Del Rey website.
I think it's on their website. I've seen it.
Well, because Ahsoka's not. It's a junior novel,
right? Correct.
Yeah,
and it's not.
So it's only that's Disney Press. I think that publishes that.
So.
The adult novels is the only one Del Rey Random House does.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. So what, the covers, they look like the movie poster covers?
No, the movie. Well, for 4, 5, and 6, it's like the DVD kind of movie poster that they made them all consistent. The kind of layout. That's for 4, 5, and 6. 1, 2, and 3 though. It's the. It's straight up the when the novelization first came out of those novels.
Yes.
Like I can picture the covers in my head, but it's those.
I have the mall one
covers. Yeah,
for episode 1, they had several different covers. If you remember,
I think the ones that you have are the hardbound ones. I think those are the covers they have.
Yeah, the 2 and 3 are. There was only one cover.
Yeah,
episode 1 had like a Maul cover, an Obi-Wan cover, a Padme cover, and a young Anakin cover.
Okay,
and then the flip back was
I think it's the young Anakin. I think
the
one.
So it's all the same novel. They had different covers. I bought the Maul one. But 2 and 3 were one cover.
Yeah,
it's kind of a collage thing, Yeah, I got to look at that. That'd be interesting to see if maybe you can find those books somewhere. I don't know. I've been searching them, but I haven't searched them on eBay. But I've been trying like Amazon and Barnes and Nobles and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Now with the on Audible, the audiobooks for 4, 5, and 6. The cover, if I remember, the covers are the the final release of VHS before the special editions.
Wow. Really?
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
It has 4 had just the half silhouette or a half image of Vader,
Stormtrooper, and Yoda.
Stormtrooper, and Yoda. Yeah. So I think because I actually seen those books.
Mm-hmm.
They released those
I haven't seen that as a
novels
book.
with those covers.
Cool.
But those are paper. I think they were paperbacks.
I love those.
Yeah, I know.
I love paperback.
I think they were paperbacks. They
Yeah.
weren't hardcovers.
Cool.
So, yeah. And then I found the collection. I showed you the collection.
Yeah.
But as I thought about it, I was like, I don't want a collection. I want individual.
Oh, I love individuals.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have a collection of the original trilogy, but
I don't.
love
See,
the
I just
original.
have that 25th anniversary of it.
yeah.
But I want to have the individual novels of it. But I don't know when the last time they released just the individual novels. I want to say it might have been at least in hardcover. I don't know when the last time. But the special edition ones, right before the special edition covers, I saw those anyway. But
Cool.
anyway, all right, guys. Kind of connecting to the season finale of Rebels, Casey's going to talk about
Ezra Bridger, the main character, the hero of the Rebels.
So We
TV
Think.
show.
He may end up being the villain.
Ooh, jeez. Who knows? So Ezra Bridger. This only goes to the end of season 1, basically. But it says here appearances Rebels, of course. So far, he's not appeared in anything else. And the timeline.
That's another side note. I am definitely going to update these books
Yes,
at Celebration, whatever they have, because
Yeah.
they're probably going to have a new book.
I would hope
or
so.
something.
I would hope so. Species is human. Homeworld is Lothal. Affiliation Rebels. He was born on Lothal, the day of the Empire was founded, Empire Day, the first Empire Day. So he is really the same age as Luke, days apart, possibly.
Yes.
He's at the time of season 1. He's 15 years old, and that's where he meets the crew. And it goes into here at the beginning, talking about his parents. I can't remember how it's pronounced. Myra and Ephraim Bridger. They disappeared when he was 7 years old. They were taken by the Empire because they were actually, in fact, rebelling themselves. They were sending illegal broadcasts over the HoloNet. And then it kind of go throughout the first season. You learn more about his parents. It took a while to get to know about his parents, but you learn more about them. You meet a Rhodian friend named Sibo, who we talked about how he had that implant, that kind of Lobot implant, where he was plugged in as like the data analyst, like we saw in that one episode of Rebels this season, where Hera destroyed an entire cruiser full of these kind of rebel analysts. Which was very interesting. It's kind of different, bizarre episode, but really cool. Ezra meets the crew, Rebels crew. He find out he's force sensitive, and so he's trained by Kanan. Constructs his own lightsaber, and it goes through just kind of how his fight with Callus and all that stuff in here. Very interesting. And it talks to here that he even took some jobs for other bounty hunters and stuff like that. And it mentions Bosk, which I don't remember him having any encounters with Bosk in the TV show. So I wonder if that's a book tie-in piece of information. Because
Could be one of those junior novels.
Yeah, there's
or something.
tons and
Little
tons of
junior stories.
those.
Yeah.
Which I wish I could read them all just so I can have that knowledge of Star Wars in my head. But there's so many Rebels tie-in novels now, or junior novels now. So really cool. I just remember before the show came out, we were talking about like characters that were, anticipating were going to be great characters and characters that we're excited to know more about. Ezra was always someone I was very excited to just learn more about. He seemed like a very cool kind of street rat, Aladdin type of character, which I was totally just drawn to because I'm a huge fan of the movie, of course. But
Yeah.
he has become such a fantastic character. Like he actually has grown as a character, strangely enough to say, because it's animated. Some people may not be as emotionally attached to it as a live action show, but I'm very attached to this character of Ezra. So I'm so glued at how he's gonna change this next and maybe potentially last season, and see where his path will take him for that. So super cool character, Ezra. I wonder if he'll have a new haircut. I wonder if he'll grow out his hair again in season 4. or if he's going to keep the buzz cut. But all about it. That's Ezra Bridger. Yeah, he's awesome. He's cool. He's a cool guy.
He's a cool guy. So I'll do a real quick couple of facts about Ezra as well, and the absolutely everything you need to know. This is pretty interesting. I don't know how. I have to look this up because I'm not even sure how canon this is. But there's a thing right here. It says the Jedi trials, and I think this is depicting Ezra's trials. So trial 1, teamwork. Ezra must work with Kanan to open the temple gate. So this is, basically what this is describing that episode where he and Kanan discover the temple.
Yeah.
So it says Jedi temple on Lothal, hidden under a stone of Lothal's grassland, site of trials where Ezra faces his worst fears. Tests if a Padawan is ready to become a full Jedi. So trial 1, teamwork. Trial 2, isolation. Ezra must leave Kanan outside and enter alone. Trial 3, fear. Ezra confronts a terrifying vision of the Inquisitor. Trial 4, anger. Ezra sees the Inquisitor destroy Kanan. Trial 5, betrayal. Ezra has the vision of a ghost crew saying they don't miss him. Trial 6, focus. Ezra must stop to think about his situation and decide to resist fear. Trial 7, instinct. Ezra learns to trust his feelings and let the Force guide him. Trial 8, forgiveness. Ezra realizes that revenge is not the Jedi way. And then Trial 9, protection. Ezra understands that Jedi must use their power to defend others. So, that's the steps of the trials, I guess, right?
So if you're ready for the trials, that's what they mean.
You have to go through those 9 trials. Teamwork, isolation, fear, anger, betrayal, focus, instinct, forgiveness, protection. In order to realize your potential and become a Jedi from being a Padawan. So very, very interesting. So I'm sure as we obviously get further and further in Jedi canon that we will discover more about the trials and all that stuff. Yeah. All right. That's it for this week. Again, Celebration is nearly upon us. We will do one more show next week before we leave for Star Wars Celebration in Orlando, Florida. If you are going to be there, please let us know or come check us out at the Star Wars podcast stage.
Yes.
Celebrations podcast stage, Friday evening, April 14th at 6 o'clock sharp. We've only got 1 hour, but then, hopefully you're there, and then we'll hang out and chat afterwards, whatever.
Absolutely.
It's going to be so much fun. I'm telling you right now, we're going to have a ton of stuff to give away.
Yes.
We've got some great stuff. I'm going to be getting some more stuff. We just got a lot of stuff we want to be appreciative to our listeners and come and get some. I'll reveal a little bit more of what we've got here in the coming weeks, but other than that, we're just going to line up a good show for you guys, and then we're going to, just like you, if you're there, celebrate the weekend with Star Wars. All right. We will check you guys out next week. Go to InsideTheForce.com for all our social and ways to listen to the show. For Casey Cooley.
Wielder, the Jedi and Sith wield the Ashla and the Bogan, the light and the dark. I'm the one in the middle, the Bendu.
Nice.
Poor Bendu.
He's not dead.
No.
He's one with the Force.
I guess.
Yeah, I know, right?
What the heck, man?
Yeah. All right, guys. Thanks for your listening, and we will see you next week. Have a great week, everybody. InsideTheForce.com. He's Kryptonia1138 on Twitter. I am D Cottingham21. Follow us there. Hope everybody can make it Star Wars Celebration. Take care, guys. He's Casey.
Goodbye, everybody.
I'm Dave, and may the Force be with you.
This has been a production of the 21 Network. For more great podcasts, visit 21network.com. To view additional content, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/21network. Follow us on Twitter at 21network for the latest news and updates. The 21 Network, for the fan and all of us.